This is Dr. Cathy with Beautifully Broken Counseling. I just want to give you an update about our Hope event. This past week we had Hope and Chronic Illness, and it was absolutely amazing, and we did Facebook Live, so it's out there on our Facebook. Please watch that. These stories were amazing. Now the next one is going to be on the 26th, I believe. I'll double check that for you, of this month. It's going to be Hope for Parenting in This Culture. Now this is not developed yet into what I have a vision for, because I think that there's going to be some of you that step up and that are going to want to speak and want to tell your stories and tell your struggles. There's so much going on right now. There's parenting within the light of the Sound of Freedom and finding out about child sex trafficking. Hannah was approached this weekend in Tullahoma, her and some friends, by a man, and there's just all these things going on. The schools, what happened during COVID, all the chaos around our kids, all the anxiety is creating for our kids. It is difficult right now to parent because our heads are spinning all the time too. And there's a lot of judgments that happen on parents, a lot of wrong judgments. I'll tell you one story. There was a person in the Bible. Her name was Hannah, and all she wanted was a baby. She was barren. Everybody made fun of her, but her husband loved her, and he would give a double portion for her as far as when there was time for sacrifices. And she went into the church. Now the church should be a place where we can go, we can be safe, we can be honest, we can say what the struggles are, but sometimes that's a place where we actually get wounded. And some of you need to speak up for that, not in a bitter way, but in a way that we can actually make this better so people can understand. I'll give you an example. So Hannah goes in. Now Hannah did not drink. She was not a drinker. She was someone who loved the Lord. She had been asking God for a baby. It says God had closed up her womb because he wanted to show his glory. And she had gone. She was at the altar. She's praying, and all is moving is her lips. And so Eli, who was a bad priest, his sons were bad. He did not take care of them. As a result, there was great judgment that fell on his household, and God took care of all of them. But what happened to Hannah? Hannah's there. She's pouring out her heart to God. She's praying is what she's doing. But this priest, instead of coming and saying, my child, why are you in such distress? How can I help you? How can I be with you? How can, ask questions to be curious, not to ask questions to be leading. He comes in and he says, how dare you come to the house of the Lord drunk? And you know what? His sons were absolutely horrendous. They would take advantage of the women that came and did sacrifices. They would steal extra food from people. They were doing horrendous things, and he was not paying attention to them. But this poor woman with a good heart, she comes and she's just asking for a child. He had no idea that God was going to give her the very child that would come and live in that temple and be the one that could hear in his own ears God would speak to her baby. But here he was, he came in and he judged her harshly. And she says, no, my Lord. She stood up for herself. Parents, you have to stand up for yourself because you're being judged today. When you go into Walmart and your child is acting out, or there's something going on, people judge. They think you're not being a good parent. We need to give that kid a good swift whooping or whatever. But that's not always the case. Rarely is that the case, actually. Many times there's children that are in trauma, they're in chaos, they don't know what to do, they don't know how to cope, and there's all this stimulation around them, and they're just trying to self-soothe in the only way they know how. And you get judged. She was being judged. She's being judged by the priest, the one person that could bless her so that she could have a child. When she stood up for herself, it said that he said, well, may you go and have the Lord open your womb, and may you have what you want. And then she did, and she had a son. She had a son, Samuel. And she said, when the child is weaned, I will give him back to that very priest. See, she actually blessed the person who cursed her. That's something we also need in this society, because we have no idea what our children will do in the future. We have no idea that we are actually standing in the presence when we're with our children in future greatness. We need to put blessings on them. And anyone who wants to bring a curse on their head in any way, we need to stand up and say, you will not curse my child. My child is unique. My child has a standalone heart that God wants to use. And I'm going to do everything I can to stand in the gap. If you'd like to learn more about how to do that, you have to deal with your own past trauma. You have to deal with those things. So parents, parenting, hope for parents in this culture this month at Manchester First Baptist Church from 5 to 7. If you want to help yourself and your children and you want to give your story, we want to stop judging in the church and we want to start helping. We want to start lifting up. We want to start teaching people how to pass on the blessings and not the curses. I am looking forward to whatever develops, because this is one that is so broad. I have no idea where this is going, but I know that God will do something magnificent like he's been doing in all of the other events, and I can't wait to see what it is. So get ready and remember Hannah, and you just ask God however you need to ask God. And if someone judges you, you stand up for yourself and say, oh no, it's not what you think. I am begging God for my child. I am begging God. I am weeping for my child. And you let someone who loves you stands up with you. And those who would stand against you, may they go away and may they not bother you and bring curses on you. All right, here we go. This is going to be a big one. And if you were abused as a child and you had problems, your story matters too. So call me, 615-332-4389, 615-332-4389. Dr. Cathy, Beautifully Broken Counseling and Hope Events. Go and check out our stories out there, the YouTube Hope Events. All right, see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.